All right, guys, so today we're going to do compositions. And all a composition is, I'm right here. All a composition is when two or more transformation combine to produce a single transformation. So what we're doing today is we're just going to move our shape more than one time. So maybe we'll do a translation, then a reflection. Or maybe we'll do a reflection, then a rotation. Okay, so we're just doing multiple things. So no new concepts are happening here. All we're doing is we're going to transform the shape multiple times before we're finished. Composition theorem right here, the composition of two or more transformations is an isometry. Now, isometry, remember, means that it is rigid. So remember, rigid means that they're the same size throughout. So even though we're doing a bunch of things to our shape, most of the time it's triangles, it should not get smaller or bigger. It's going to stay the same. All right, so let's just start out here. I'm going to go ahead over here on my graph. I'm just going to plot the 3 points. So Q is 2, -3. R is 4, -4. And then 5 and -1. That's our S. So here is our triangle. And again, most of the time we are transforming these triangles. Okay, so here's my triangle. First thing that it asks me to do is a translation. And it says I am going to keep all the X's the same. See right here? All the X's the same. There's no plus or minus on it. And all the Y's I'm going to add by 5. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to rewrite all the X's. So Q's X is 2, R's X is 4, and S's X is 5, because I'm not doing anything with those. But for the Y's, I'm going to add 5 to all of them. So -3 plus 5, 2. -4 plus 5, 1. And -1 plus 5 is 4. Okay? So those are my new ordered pairs. So I'm going to come over here and graph my new triangle. So -2, oh, just kidding, 2, 2, Q prime, 4, 1, R prime, and then 5, 4 is S prime. Make sure you're putting those little primes on there so that I know where your next shape is. All right, now here's the hardest part. Are you ready? When we do the next guy, you always go from the points directly above. Not these, not the original ones, these pink ones. All right, so we're going to reflect this guy over the y-axis. So I'm going to take the pencil one, here's the pencil, and I'm going to reflect him over this y-axis. So remember, when we reflect, we just count. So let's look at Q. See how Q is 2 to the right? So that means his new guy is going to be 2 to the left. Okay? Let's see how many S's over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. And again, make sure you're putting those double primes so that we know the difference. So let's see, R is 4 over to the right. So it's going to be 4 to the left. And there is our new triangle after we flip it over that y-axis. So all I need to do before I'm done with my problem is come back over here and just write down my ordered pairs. So Q is -2, 2. R is -4, 1. And S is -5, 4. So we got to make sure, you guys, there's 2 answers happening here. There's your graph and these ordered pairs. So we have to make sure that we do both. All right, so for our next one, let's go ahead and get our triangle up there. So -1, -3, that's our A. -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, there's our B. And then -6, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our C. All right, so it's a smaller triangle, which is fine. All right, there he is, beautiful. All right, so let's see what we're going to do. It says we want a transformation. So first guy says I'm going to add 1 to all the X's. So let's just do our X's first. Okay, so -1 plus 1 is 0. -4 plus 1 is -3. And -6 plus 1 is -5. Okay, so I did all my x's. Now my y's, it says subtract 2 to all of them. -3 minus 2 is -5. -1 minus 2 is -3. And -4 minus 2 is -6. Okay, so just do one at a time. Don't get crazy with it. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to plot my new triangle. So over 0, down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is my new A prime. Over -3, 1, 2, 3, down 3, 1, 2, 3. That is my B prime. And don't worry if it's getting on top of the other triangle. It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my new C. Boop, boop, and boop. There he is, looking good. All right, so remember, hardest part is to remember that you look right above. So I'm doing a 90-degreer. So let's remember the shortcut for 90 is y negative x. So meaning we're going to put a negative on the x and then flip it. So let's look. It's a 0, so I really can't put a negative on a 0, so I'm just going to flip it. -5, 0. All right, now when I try to put a negative on this x, it's already negative. So it's going to go to positive and then flip it, -3, 3. So again, this 5 is going to go to positive and flip it, -6, 5. Okay, and then we got to come over there and graph it. So -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you put double prime on there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, B double prime. And then -6, and then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your C double prime. So again, nothing new is happening here, guys. We're just doing it more than once. All right, let's try an easier one. Try to get a hand of it. And the reason why this is easier, because it's a segment. It's not a triangle. So sorry, guys. Let's go over here and plot it. So C is over 2, 0. There's our C. And then D is 3, 3. So again, it's just a segment this time. We're just going to move him around. So let's see. It says first thing you want to do is flip him over the x-axis. So I'm just squiggling up the x-axis. So all I did over here is I just squiggled it up. Oh, what happens when a point is on the line of reflection? Right? It stays on the line of reflection. So the C is not going to move at all, okay? But the D is 3 up, so it will be 3 down. So here's your D prime. So C is actually going to stay the same because he's on the line of reflection. So when we come over here to write the ordered pairs, C is actually the same thing, 2, 0. D actually changed. So 2, what is it, 3, -3? Okay, so just kind of remember that. If you're on the line of reflection, you do not move. All right, 270, ooh, counterclockwise, guys, counterclockwise, which means it's the same thing as 90. So we are doing y negative x again. Okay, so change your x first, then flip it. So this 2 is going to go to a negative, then flip it, 0, -2. This 3 is going to go to a negative, then flip it, -3, -3. Okay, so over 0, down 2, that's my new C double prime. Over -3, 1, 2, 3, down 3, 1, 2, 3, that's my new D double prime. See, again, not bad. All you're doing is you're just kind of moving it around. All right, now, another triangle one. So let's go ahead and plot our triangle. So 0, 2. I know this is going to suck a little bit because the graph sucks a little bit. So 2, 5. So just kind of get it close to where it is. And we'll just focus on the points for this one. Okay, so there he is. So we'll just, again, we're going to focus on the points more than the graph because the graph's kind of ugly. All right, so we're going to do a rotation of 180 degrees. Oh, no, guys. This is the challenge one, and the reason why that's the challenge one is because you're rotating about a point and not the origin. So remember when we do that, we subtract these points off, we do the rotation, and then we add the points back on. So I'm going to kind of do my work right here. So I'm going to put my A, my B, and my C. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract a -2 off of all the x's. So 0 minus -2, -2 minus -2, this would be a +2, and this would be a 0. Sorry, guys. -6 minus a -2. All right. So there's my commas. Now I'm going to subtract off a -5 from all the y's. So 2 minus -5, 5 minus -5, and 5 minus -5. All right, so now I've just subtracted it off. Now I'm going to do the 180 rotation. And remember, the 180 rotation is where you make them both negative. So this is going to be -2, -7, -10. Now this one's already negative, so I'm going to make him positive. And make him negative. Okay, and remember the last step is to add them back on. Add that point back on. So I'm going to add -2 back on. So -2 plus -2, 0 plus -2, 4 plus -2. Now I'm going to add this -5 back on. 7 plus -5, -10 plus -5, and -10 plus -5. Ooh, these are some big old numbers. So I don't even think, we're not going to plot them, I don't think, because I think that will mess us up. -4, -12 for A. -2, -15 for B. And 2, -15. I don't know why I put a parenthesis over there. For that one. Okay, so this what sucks. When you rotate around a specific point, you got to do that work that we see. All right, now my translation, all I'm going to do is from these points above is I'm going to subtract 1 from all the x's. So -4 subtract 1, -2 subtract 1, and then 2 subtract 1. Now I'm going to add 8 to all the x's. -12 plus 8. -15 plus 8, what is that? 5, 6, 7. And -15 plus 8 again. All right, when I flip over the y-axis, when you flip over this y, okay, the only thing that is changing is your x's. So really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my x negative. This is like the shortcut for it. So all I got to do, the y's will all stay the same, but the x's are all going to switch over. So for the first one, that's a -5, so I'm going to switch it over to a +5, -4. Switch it over, +3, -7. Switch it over, -1, -7. Done. So again, I didn't graph any of them because that graph's really small and ugly. Okay, so sorry. All right, so super hard. That's the challenge. That's why I have challenge right there, because that is the challenge. Anytime you are rotating about a point, it's going to be harder. All right, we got one more back here. We're going to do the opposite now. They're going to give us the picture, and then you tell me how you get from one shape to the next shape. So first thing you got to do is you got to look in here and see who is the first shape. Well, you know who's the first shape because it won't have any primes on it. The next shape will have the primes, and then the next shape will have the double primes. Okay, so this is your first one, then it went to this one, then it went to this one. So let's see. How can we go from number 1 triangle to number 2? Is it just sliding around? Is it getting flipped over? Is it getting rotated? Yeah, it's getting flipped over. So the A is up here. So it's 2 away from this x-axis. The C stays the same. The B is 2 away. It's getting flipped over the x-axis. So we want to write a reflection over the x-axis. And I'll scoot my paper over so you can see it. Hold on. Reflection over the x-axis. So that's how we get from 1 to 2. Now look at 2 to 3. Is it just sliding around? Is it flipping over? Is it turning? So look, all it is moving around. So let's look at just one specific point. Let's all look at A. Okay? So we know when it's just sliding around, it's going to be a translation. With translation, you have to write that little equation thing. So x comma y and then in parentheses. Okay? This is how it works. So the x's control the left and the right. So let's see how many do we got to go over to get even with A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To the right. So x plus 6. So again, we moved from A, 6 over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I'm even with A. Now how many do we have to go up to get it? 1, 2. So y plus 2. So remember, your x's control the left and the right. The y's will control the up and the down. So to get from this A to this A, I had to go right 6, up 2. And even if I looked at the B's, I would still be going right 6, up 2. Same with the C's, right 6, up 2. Okay? All right, so go ahead and try your homework. And again, we're going to have a day 2 on this to make sure we're awesome. Bye, guys.